Torque, where Torque wanted to play. We now switch over to Overpass, where OpTic should be being able to play their game. And if we look at results as of late, you can't help but feel like OpTic have this 16-12 victory over Splice, 16-14 victory over Misfits. And while you might think those are closer than not, those are two good Overpass teams. Especially for Splice, it's their best map. Whereby Torque, they already have I think like a 16-8 loss versus Gale Force. So it's going to be a tough one, but Steel kicks it off with a headshot. That's Alu down already. 4 shots still towards site. Tries to tap off, but it's Monty. TCK, 4-shot Monty again. A kill feed for Torqued as they take an opening pistol a second time around.
That looked like it was gonna be bad news bears for Torqued because they went for that simple 4 guys stacked towards the B bomb site, 1 guy trying to lurk towards A. There was a nice pop flash that was thrown suddenly, though, in a rotation back as 5 guys from OpTic Gaming were streaming down towards that long A. And they lined up, I think, all 5 of them towards that wall, towards the long side with that pop flash. P250 connected with, like, 2 kills. But nonetheless, the rotation came... It was pristine for Torqued, the way that they took the retake on that site. So no bomb plants coming in for OpTic Gaming. They're going to go for a pistol buy for this round with armor as well. And this is what I talked about, the difference as on the second round. It's UMPs across the board with the exception of Monte with the M4. While on the other end for OpTic Gaming, you saw them with rifles already on that second round. So Torque trying to build up the economy, trying to bring it up so they can get enough econ for a double op setup if they can. And it starts off well as Mixwell already fell.
The way Torque just came rotating up to the A site so quickly in that pistol, they just smothered OpTic before they even had a chance to find the plant. Alu again gonna hug that long wall, tries to creep up towards the site. The rest of the team gets into position. Steel to be pinched, but 4-shot, he bails him out with an opening frag. Steel's takes 2, and HS able to battle it back, but not for very long. Torque convert their point.
And Chaz, if you don't mind hitting tab for the scoreboard, I just want to let you guys know that on Torque's side, it is currently 4-3-2-1-0 in terms of kills. And you know what that means? It's the Care Bear countdown.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, man. I've been calling that since 1.6. Every time I see like a little nice OCD type of like scoreboard for kills, you always got to call it the Care Bear countdown. But yeah, HS got 2 kills with the Deagle. Again, all they lost were UMPs, so they didn't lose that much there for Torque. You could see them as they're buying M4s for the guys that lost a UMP, so that's Steel and TCK. So they still have a lot of firing power. That made OpTic they're forced on a full save because of that pistol armor buy that didn't pay off for them. So it's just going to be easy pickings for them into this round, technically.
Yeah, nice cleanups already. That's multiple frag grenades that have happened over the course of the last 2 rounds. So it just goes to show you, like, OpTic, they're not even able to get into position with a 5v5. The utility advantage of Torque, not to even mention the guns, has really been the key of success. But OpTic seem to want to boost here. Freiburg's just been dancing on this railing. They don't have any utility. They don't have a flash to call this push. So it's a matter of time before these terrorists just come trickling in. And when they do so, they should die.
That's right. So Alu's making a bit of noise as you're hearing him jumping a little bit towards the short B side just to try to keep them honest and staying stuck towards B. So the last 2 guys, I thought were going to try to go towards A. But they're all going to group up through the connector, and they're going to go for a 3-man push towards his B side as Alu, as he keeps jumping around, hasn't really spotted anything. The only information that he has is that there was a pop flash that was thrown, but they have no clue of how many people are actually holding this B bomb site. And they tried to go for a run boost. They said, all right, it didn't work. Screw it. Let's just run in. And now that is 1, 2, and a third one to fall from A2Z and Monty working together.
Yeah, nice hold on the B site there. Just obviously with a massive advantage, but not wanting to let any kind of gain be taken over by OpTic. No frags, no bomb plant, no nothing. And that's exactly what unfolds. But the op of Alu is out already. 4 AKs surround it, and we're going to get the quote-unquote freebie round here from Torque, the double ump. And on a map like Overpass, the UMP is really not a limitation. You can position that anywhere on the map, really, and still be good to go, barring the long angles of Monster and Long A.
Alright, so one of them is going to be towards the connector side, and that's 4-shot, and then A2Z with the other one was trying to play it towards the toxic barrels, but is going to pop flash for TCK and Monte to take control of the B side. So they won't see anything there. They expect something happening towards the A side, but they are pushed up so aggressively on A as well. So where's that information? It's going to be Steel spawning it first, and he falls down. Oh my god, that's 3 guys that pushed in towards me. They push forward, take down 4-shot as well. Now the A side is weakened. They have yet to pick up the bomb, but they're just going to clear out the site for the remaining guys. And the last one that was lurking around is going to be Magic's Boy. That's going to pick up the bomb to meet up with them towards A.
Oh, again, the frag kill, though. Nice throw by Monty. Now A2Z on close, up with the site. T side nearby. Freiburg spams the smoke, finds one, but TCK will trade. And we swing back to the 2v2. Alu nearly finding another op frag as the 45-second mark hits the clock. It's Armin cleaned up by Magisk. And TCK back to the clutch. Sprays, drops the bomb, but the nade so close, hits him to 6. Alu on the ACP. Oh, he picks it up. There we go. It's done. It's OpTic to the board, but a very back and forth round there.
And I like the little bit of a slight of change in terms of the playstyle for Alu. Not going to try to go for an op pick on a 1 versus 1, knowing where the last person is. He could just post up the angle and get the pick. He actually just dropped his op to pick up an AK-47 and go El Mano to El Mano, rifle to rifle, and still win that round. So you talked about in the first map here, Skarane, being comfortable with both the AWP and the AK. You could see it, just how comfortable he is throughout this whole series with any gun pretty much so far.
3T's creeping up through connector. Interestingly enough, Torqued have 2 guys on the opposite side. That's TCK and Monty moving within the water. So they're getting the information that B side is clear. And Steel's still pushed up on long. So at this moment, OpTic could have just trickled through the bathrooms into the A bomb site. That was the most open route. But it would, of course, been boxed in by the CT side. Now they're going to head up towards long A. And Steel might be tested.
That is such an interesting angle to take. But that is also because 4-shot is opping with the long side, covering pretty much short and long as much as he could. Now he's going to pop flash for Steel to peek out, and then can he get anything? So far, he does probably hear the scope coming in from Alu. The jump comes towards the top. The split shot is missed. He gets a double kill before he's straight out by Mixwell, but that's a lot of information. They spotted the bomb as well. Already, TCK is going to rotate over. So they're going to put a lot of defense towards this A side. You do have Monty that's holding up towards the connector, so they have some great defense positioning. Now that's A2Z with 1. Traded back by Magic's Boy. Avenged by 4-shot with the AWP. And now it's all up to Mixwell, picking up that op left behind from Alu to try to win a 3 versus 1.
Yeah, this round just boils down to the proper setup from the CT side. Steel was in a high octane position. He had to come up with kills, and he gets that 2 for 1 to get things rolling. OpTic not having any connector control, having no presence over towards B. They realize that their chances lie with just committing to the A site. We see those players just get pinned in behind the flower pots, and that's when it comes down to the frag of 4-shot trading back onto Armin. So ultimately, CT side with a stellar hold, and it's OpTic to move that 1 op into the next round.
Yeah, and that's fine too. When Torque lost that round previously against OpTic Gaming on that 4th round, we did call that it was the freebie round because they only had UMPs. They lost it. They went back for rifles. TCK actually still had a UMP, probably because that was the only thing that he was able to afford. But as they finally get a full gun round coming through on that 5th round, again, it was about that setup, about the pop flash, about getting that information and Steel's position to actually get all that information for them. Now it's going to be the op that they kept. Magic's Boy is going to force up with an AK-47, so they are buying all the way down as a team with whatever they can. The lowest mark is going to be Alu with $1,000 because he still wants to maintain as much as he can, move it into this save, potentially double save, so that he can get an op on the real gun round coming through. So Torque technically should not have any issues coming through, but we've seen how strong these guys could be with pistols again for OpTic Gaming when we first witnessed on Cash.
And the big difference with this round is that OpTic have control all across the map. So their play is going to be just much more informed once they decide to finally commit to whatever it is that they want. They've got, of course, Freiburg moving around the bathrooms. He hasn't found anyone until 4-shot takes his head. And now that he's dead, we might see the trigger pulled. We might see the T's push in. And the Molotov blocks it off. So no commitment can be made just yet. 50 seconds on the clock. And it's going to be the 3-man creep in monster. Monty immediately falls. And TCK can't trade because he falls back into the crosshair of Magisk. Now, our A2Z inside the site. Steel's rotating down. He needs the hold. Armin needs these frags, but he only finds 1. And we're back to the 2v2 already.
2-on-2 situation, as you just mentioned. 30 seconds left on the clock, but 4Shot still connects with the AWP. So he's been on point so far on the A side and even on a rotation. Now with 20 left, at this point, Alu is probably going to try to save the M4. Moving over to the next. No, he's actually going to try to commit to try to get a bomb plant. So he's got the P250 out. He's running straight into the site and is just going to try to get a plant. It's actually going to be given. 4Shot's going to be able to hear it as he was rotating back from B to A. And Alu now is going to reposition himself still at the default spot, trying to make his way towards the headshot at Flower Pots. But Steel and 4Shot, all they have is a smoke, and Molotov and a flash. So the flash to pop in to move in. They still can't find Alu, so they're just going to have to play for the bait defuse.
It would make sense to Molotov bathroom, but sending over stairs. Alu sprays for one. And 4Shot taps away to get himself the trade. The defuse comes through. And that's Torque now, again, with another round on the board. But considering the investment, considering the few weapons there that OpTic had to play with, we go back to Cash, whereby, you know, even in the pistol conversion rounds, OpTic were putting up a fight. There's no round, despite massive weapon disadvantage, that OpTic aren't in. But they're not keeping competitive. And so you look in the long run, it should be a matter of time before that kind of consistency breaks through. It's going to be up to Torque to really, you know, stabilize here, start punishing these anti-eco rounds, and getting a lead established when they really should be.
4Shot tried to look for some information to start at the fountain side, but I think there was a smoke that prevented him from getting any whatsoever, so they're going to play it more passively now. You can see them all falling back towards the A-bomb side, even more passively towards B. A2Z still playing towards that back of that B-bomb side, and TCK is playing towards Graffiti, sort of giving a lot of room for OpTic Gaming to actually move forward and press, add some pressure into the site, wherever it's going to be, or pressure onto the map, rather. And it's going to be the first contact coming towards A. Leg shot from 4Shot, but traded out by Steel as they're moving forward. Steel is looking to look for some cover, but that's Freiberg moving across, runs out of bullets at the CZ, unfortunately. Matches boy and Alu trying to move forward. Pop flash to come across. Great play from Torque to play together for the retake, but they're still falling behind from the pistols. Now A2Z trying to look towards the bank side. Whiffs the spray. Now it's a 2 versus 1, just like that. Now TCK push forward. Baited out. Mixwell now knows where he's at, so it's going to be a double man trying to peek through, and TCK again, only with the smoke and only with the molly. And that's going to give a chance now for Alu and Mixwell, mollying off towards the bank side to pick up the bomb and plant it, and take the 2-on-1 advantage.
Alu's going to position himself over towards long. He has the M4 here. Mixwell still on the Deeg. Flashbang's going to allow for Alu to fade back. That's just time now bought. TCK wants to clear the corner, but he's chasing ghosts at this point. There's nobody there. Both terrorists over on bathroom. Smoke now on the bomb. He taps it first. Mixwell's forced to peek. Sees nothing for his efforts. But TCK is not on that bomb. And now time is the issue. He's going to get back on it. He's just going to try to commit. Holds it down to 2. And Alu executes through smoke. It is OpTic with only pistols to find another round.
That's insane. Because I think there was only Alu that had body armor, and everybody else only had pistol, no armor, and they could still win that. And you can see how the economy is now broken and shifted over to OpTic Gaming's advantage. Might even have to go down for like a double save coming through for Torque. So yeah, that's why you see them buying right now with whatever they have, because they have to be forced towards the issue for the double save.
I mean, we saw a round like that unfold in the second half of Cash that really led OpTic to just run away with the win. And that's the kind of outcome here and now that's now just going to switch back to this half. Unless Torque can get a freebie of a round as well, it's not looking good for them. A2Z is able to catch 1 kill in response, but it's 3 frags already for the OpTic camp. And Armin is tagged heavily as well. 4Shot with 69 health. And Armin on 7. Both CTs to the B site. T's inbound. HS crosses, clears the first. 4Shot yet to trade, goes out in fashion. 5-3 as OpTic come bouncing back.
Right. So another save is going to come through. The economy is going to come up for OpTic side. Even at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if any of them bought like a submachine gun and try to build that economy up even more. But I feel like in the end they didn't, because they didn't need to, in a sense that they've won through from an eco before. So that economy is already built up quite well for OpTic Gaming at this point. And Torque is going to be forced on a full save with only pistols. So 4Shot and Steel with the P250 upgrades, and that's all that they have to their name in terms of little bit more firepower than what you usually have with silenced USPs. Not even any flashes to go for any pop peaks. So they're just setting up close angles and setting up for trades.
Smoke begins to fade. Freiburg will retreat. Good idea to keep away from those pistols. Monty on the pillar, already spotted by Magis because the fire fades. He's aware that HS might commit. Instead, Magis takes him. Still patient play from Freiburg at the bottom of connector. Even more patient is Alu on Fountain. So we see the T side just setting up on the extremities and letting that 3-man core clear out the B site. Nice conversion round here from OpTic. Compare this kind of outcome to when the T side had pistols and we watched Torque struggle time and time again.
And now they finally peek out from the corner as 4Shot trying to spam with the P250, runs out of bullets, reloads, peeks back out. But Magic Boy was waiting for him. Last one to go and last one to fall is going to be A2Z. And a very nice round for OpTic Gaming. No players lost. Freiburg from an M4 a few rounds ago. And then they're just rich as balls now. I was just reading the chat here. 2 damage headshot with the P250. I feel like it's happened to me before as well. So that's probably through the wall, through the door. But definitely didn't do enough damage. The impact.
We used to have 100 damage P250s, Vansili. Now we have 2 damage pistols.
Pretty much. And it starts off with 4Shot already falling from the hands of Alu. Even Steel is trying to get a better position, but there was a small gap in the smoke that gave him a chance to get sprayed down by Magis Boy. He was trying to get that self-boost on the top of the pipes to try to surprise his opponents moving down towards the connector side, but he burns down, unfortunately. So already a 5-on-2 situation. TCK, though, spots the cannon of Alu with the AWP, easily picks him off, but does not salvage the AWP. He's going to be fall back. It's going to come down to A2Z, who cannot hold B, unfortunately. TCK now at this point will just try to save. Even at this point, if I was TCK, or if I were TCK, I'd move back up towards the A-bomb site, pick up the AWP, try to save it back for 4Shot instead of even going for exits. Because at this point, you're not really actually hurting any economy if you're getting exit kills for OpTic Gaming. Now you're giving him a chance to actually go for a boost, and he gets gonna get immediately dispatched there by Freiburg. So it's now tied up 5-5 in this match as. Since a real gun round coming through from OpTic Gaming, since that turn of events from that eco that they won, they're running away with this T side.
And this was the story on Cash as well. Moments whereby Torque just were forced into saves, forced into these half little pistol buys. It was OpTic just running away with things outside of the pistol rounds. Now this time, of course, Torque had a chance at establishing themselves, but let's go back to that one round where OpTic win with only pistols. They flood down the A-bomb site, they just completely clear it up. And it's those sorts of rounds that completely change the outcome of the game, right? That's why they're such exciting moments, because they're not supposed to happen. They are anomalies. And when enough of those start to add up, it's just a matter of time before OpTic assert their lead. So they don't have a lead just yet, but versus this kind of a buy, they should certainly have one in a matter of seconds.
The way that they're set up, they're putting a lot of the focus on the defense on the B side. Really, it's only Steel moving forward, trying to get the information. Greeted by the op of Alu, he falls, and the rest of OpTic are actually heading towards the connector, up towards the A side, sorry. So I thought they were going to try to swing towards B, but the bomb is still down there towards that playground, so they can pick it up, and now they're going for a split towards the A site where it's open and easy for them to take over and get a bomb plant. I must say, they do have a nice setup, at least, for Torque. You can see it. They have grenades primed. They have a flash from TCK as well. They wanted to focus to try to go for possibly a nade up on short side. A pop flash for 4 guys to peek right back out to try to go for those kills and those trades at B. But now as the mollies are being thrown, they finally hear it. Bomb will get planted, and they're going to try to do the same thing towards the A side. So grenades will get launched soon. Pop flash for them to come across. But now it's going to be them that's going to have to turn the tables around and peek first. And that's where they're going to get greeted by a lot of rifles.
I mean, too many rifles. That's really the problem, right? Like, the nades right now from Torque are just trying to clear out someone who'd be up close on sight, but all these guns play passively back. There's no smoke grenade to cover the bomb, so this is just a matter of trying to overwhelm one or two keys, and Magis with Freiburg just clean them all up. All the effort in the world couldn't stop that crossfire, but Magis still dies to bomb. All right.
It happens, man. He was fighting towards that washroom. He was dinked down. He was low, trying to run away. No avail, but again, look at the scoreboard right now there, or the money at least. Even after this full gun round, you still have Alu with 10k and Mixwell at 11k. So they're fine to lose a rifle or two from round to round. On the other end of the spectrum, Torque bought all the way down to 0 and can only afford for a one-off setup, where usually something like a double-off setup would actually be quite good to use on a map like Overpass for CT side.
This is kind of cool. We're watching Torque go back to what they were using on Cash. 3 players per one site, and then 2 players on another extremity. It's not the A site itself, but rather A long. They leave mid open for the taking versus OpTic, and they still net themselves the 3v3. That was a clash towards the B side. Steel flashes his way towards Playground, takes shots to the chest, and leaves 4shot all alone. Smoke down towards B, but bomb's not on site. However, Freiburg's body is.
Yeah, the last 2 guys are actually rotating all the way from T-spawn to B. As 4shot got that pick, cleared it out a bit, is like, okay, well, maybe these guys are heading towards the A side, but even smarter move for Magisk and Alu to stay together and move inside the B bomb site. 2 flashes and a smoke even to try to clear out B if they wanted to. But you're just really using Alu as the forerunner. Just try to clear out the site. You can see how fast he's jiggling around just to try to clear it out in case 4shot drop down inside B. Now the bomb will go down, and 4shot still coming back towards that heaven side. Really focus on the left side of the pillar, but again, after that plant, OpTic Gaming utilizes the smoke that they threw to their advantage to retreat back towards the short side.
Look at the way that OpTic are playing this trade frag. I mean, they've literally walked side by side ever since they left the site. And they're waiting for 4shot to come in and fight. Instead, he'll save for the next one. Op moves forward. 7th round of the board here for OpTic Gaming. And that's going to be 6 consecutive. You know, if it wasn't for that economic reset in the 4th round versus OpTic, when they had 1 guy left, then Torque, you know, you could argue would have barely scratched away these 5th and 6th rounds. And we'd still be looking at just the pistols. Which was the case nearly on Cash. But OpTic's spree of victory here is not being contested, and unfortunately for Torque, they're gonna have to come in with another weekend buy.
It's tough, right? This is OpTic Gaming's map choice. I haven't really seen Torque play on a map like Overpass yet to see what type of setups they could do, but even who they play against is not at the level of how OpTic is. In terms of fragging power and so in terms of what we had on paper when we mentioned at the pregame. So it's still an adjustment period for this team to like have the opportunity to play these top tier 1 teams, at least for me in North America, and they can learn from that at least. But at this point, it's we said it pre-game too. It's pretty much OpTic Gaming series in a bag.
Yeah,
from
I mean,
the first result.
From Torque, we have like a 16-10 win versus We Make History at the Cineplex event. That's not a team that's comparable in caliber to OpTic in any world whatsoever. Closer to OpTic would be Gale Force, what was Miami Flamingos, but even they are another, you know, North American premier level team, and that was a 16, I believe, 8 victory for Gale Force over Torque. So if you're only getting 8 rounds versus a team like Gale Force, then you shouldn't get many more than 5 versus OpTic.
Well, at least a pick in right there from Steel from the full rotation, but that gives a chance for OpTic Gaming to move inside this B bomb site. It's going to be a full retake. Already Monte is at Graffiti with the op in the hands of Shot, or should I say 4shot. Bomb is now planted. Molly being forced Monte out of position to even push forward. There's so much smoke right now as well. They're going to try to play maybe a boost to try to peek. But they're using the utilities to their advantage for OpTic Gaming to keep them honest for Torque at the short side of B. Now pushing forward. Monte taking down HS, but it's traded out by Alu with a 2K. Make that 3. Surprisingly enough, Alu still maintains with the Tech 9.
Another round the way of OpTic. This has genuinely just been the story of this T side.
Yeah.
It's been very convincing here from OpTic on the offense. Not ever since those first 5 rounds have come to a close, that is. So maybe this double op setup's the solution from Torqued. There have been glimmers of hopes, but unfortunately it seems like they're just too often than not on the retake or struggling economically. At least this time, money's not the issue. But deaths are. Olive opens up. Steel tries to get aggressive. I like the intuition. I like the aggression. Maybe Armin can get something done. But no, T2 toppled. TCK takes 2 because Mixwell burns to a crisp. But how many times have we had to watch 4Shot come in here in a clutch situation?
Yeah, even on top of that, not only from Steel falling down, but they had a boost to at least just win that fight easily on the short side of B. A smoke was there. I think it was HS that just ran through it. It immediately headshotted Monte, who was boosted on the top of the sandbag. So they're just on point of how they're checking their angles, their crosshair placement where they're moving through. And Torque just can't stand a chance. Mollies are being thrown across the site as well for B. They just can't find good positioning or even good footing to actually get the first shot against OpTic. And even if they do, they just lose it because OpTic's just so much better in terms of 1 versus 1 battles.
15th and final round of the half will feature the trio of FAMAS. This is double M4, nice amounts of utility. No kit. No opening pick, not as of yet. Magisk looks to clash on long. Steel and 4Shot are in position already. They're going to hear all this movement, so they call for the 4th man to come join. That's Armin. But another moment where mid is given up for free. This has been Torque's go-to.
OG knows this as well, that they've been playing aggressively towards this long A. Freiburg's just jiggle peeking all the time here from the playground area. Now they're going to have a quadruple peek, so it's going to be a bloodbath towards the long side, and so far it comes to the advantage of Torqued. Make that, the tides have turned, and Freiburg gets a double kill with the AK-47 to bring up that 1-man advantage on the terrorist side. Meanwhile, HS is trying to listen in from the connector side if anybody's rotating across from short, but so far it stays as though they're going to rotate from the staircase over to A. That's why it gives a chance now for the last 2 players to rotate from the long side, move into connector, also from the T-spawn, to all execute towards the B bomb site.
Watch the first half on Cash go the way of 9-6. This one could also occur, but it's going to take the clutch from Monty and TCK. They've got 2 targets tagged. Freiburg and Alu hit up already. And very little utility for either side, but more notably, no kit. As TCK makes a ruckus, comes flying out from Graffiti. HS commits to the corner, finds the timing, the opening frag, and now the 1v3 swept under the rug as OpTic Gaming find double digits.
Yeah, really nothing more you could say there. We were pretty much being a broken record, beating down a dead horse, pretty much. It all came down to OpTic Gaming having free reign of however they wanted to play that first half on T side. Whether it be long battles, they were won. Whether it be taking control of the connector side to short, execution towards B, Torqued just couldn't do anything there. So hopefully they could turn things around for Torqued. It's a much needed pistol round that it didn't work for them in that last map. Hopefully it will happen here. We'll see that unfold after this commercial break.
My name is Tim the Tab Man. I use CyberPower PC powered by Intel.
Let's go!
More substantial lead this time around than on cash. 10-5 at the end of what was a grueling spree of rounds. OpTic Gaming with 9 in a row. Torch, sure enough, won the opening pistol, and I think it's safe to say, Vansili, they need this second as well.
Definitely, and they needed that on cash. They really need to get it down this time, and it starts off not well at all, as Mixwell was pushed up towards the fountain, drops TCK. Two guys beating up with Mixwell as they're pushing towards long. So much information now. They know that they're now stacked towards connector or B side, and they reassess their defense to set up a crossfire on party control.
Steel hears shots, will double back for frags, and there we have it. 2 quick kills here in the favor of Torque. That's USPs to grab, and the man advantage to work with. But keep your eyes on the radar, because we've got Freiburg. No, excuse me, we've got Alu coming in from behind. T-side, go charging onto A. Freiburg still over towards long. He's going to pick up some headshots. There we have it. Just down to Armin, and he's inside the site. Gets himself the 1v1, but Alu executes with ease. Taps away from that eventual flank, and will find OpTic 11. So, if Torque were in a rough spot, it's even rougher now.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be impossible. Let's just put it there. I mean, it started off so well from the way that they traded out from that party control to try to move out towards the A bomb site. But just moving into A itself, the rotation on a map like Overpass, it just happens so fast on the CT side that it's still, no matter what, very hard to still take over the A bomb site despite you winning and taking control of mid to start early. You saw them taking a little bit of time moving out of T-spawn for Torque, so they're using that extra time to maybe try to build up on a strategy moving on to the next one, because you don't see them buying any weapons at all with the exception of a smoke and pistols. So you're maybe trying to see an execute just to get a bomb plant down, and that extra time that was spent at T-spawn could be, what's our next move if we get the bomb plant in? What's our next move if we don't?
The entirety of Torque group up towards the washrooms. Magisk will plume his smoke. T-side's already thrown a couple of nades over as well. Freiburg, he will not be tested. He easily cleans this one up. They get nothing for their efforts there. Torqued get closer to the site, but they never find the entry.
Now here's the debate on the T side. Do you want to force this up? Give a chance for OpTic Gaming, or not give a chance for OpTic Gaming to build up the economy? Or are you just going to try to go for a real save and then just try to battle it up from a 13-5 deficit at this point? And they are going to decide to go for just pistols this time. On the other end, though, OpTic still pushing aggressively on the top of the party side. They spot one crossing over. He's, even on top of that, TCK shot a bullet, so information is given away. They saw a couple of guys cross over towards the long A side, so Alu will now reposition himself as he lines up even the bomb to start. At least it's traded out, and they get an M4 to start.
Yeah, Magisk starts to come in from behind. Does get spotted by Armin. Magisk can't get away. A2Z just guns him down as he attempts the retreat. That's something picked up, but not much. MP9 versus fully armed and Kevlared opponents. What's more important is the M4 of steel.
Right, an M4 and an MP9. MP9 to try to take control of this connector side, but Mixwell is going to greet A2Z fairly soon. Hears him fall away, and he makes it back safely. But that now gives a chance for Mixwell to get that information, because he hears him rotate back from the fountain. So you'll see one reassess. It's going to have to now be HS. That's going to have to plant behind the toxic barrels and wait for the terrorist team to move in. Again, only 2 flashes, make that 3 flashes for Torque to move inside this B bomb site, but there's no smokes. So even after these initial flashes, if HS still maintains his position behind the barrels, he's going to catch them all off guard.
I'm curious to see as to what TCK will do on the opposite side. He still sits inside the washroom. Steel catches Mixwell. That's the connector now open for the taking, but HS on the full commitment stares at his feet. They come walking by, and HS slays the entirety of the B site. TCK tasked with a 1v2 clutch. 5 seconds to the clock. I think not. OpTic Gaming find 13.
That was some quick burst shots and accuracy being met from HS's UMP. Yes, the first kill was quite easy. Make that even the third one, but the reaction on that second kill was prime, and that was needed there for HS to prevent Torque from actually getting a bomb plant and building an economy up. You can see here, yes, they have an AWP, they buy all the utilities that they can, but an extra $800 would have possibly helped them on the long run.
Forced back to the side of the playground is Torqued. Now, when we watched Overpass last weekend at the World Gaming Gig, it was Monty inside of the bottom of Connector who would generally find these opening picks. He constantly was cleaning up the anti-eco force pushes. He was constantly kind of lingering towards both bomb sites and definitely finding impact. If not a lot of frags, at least impactful kills. So I look to him being positioned there yet again, as he was tested early on, but the CTs go reeling back, leaving Alu to try and find picks.
Now it's going to be Steel that's going to assert himself to try to move forward and clear out towards the washrooms. Alu maybe heard something and will decide to fall back right away. And even playing closer with the AWP, just maybe spotted somebody head towards there, towards that connector side. Of course, we have a different point of view from smokes versus players. But as he's jumping up and down, Steel hears it on the other side. So he knows that somebody's close. He's going to creep through the smoke and catch him off guard and gets the opening kill for Torque.
Freiberg peeks back by the op, but the shot does not connect, so he's still good to go. Taps towards the head of Steel, who finds the frag. That's now an opening to the T side, a big one at that. 5 versus 2 as Mixwell's caught off guard. Magisk bails him out, but that's still the A site crumbled underneath the feet of OpTic. Magisk with another frag secures the exit, but that's around here for Torque. So 6-1 to the board. The first time they get guns on their T side, and they've at least got something to work with. But we watched OpTic do that exact same thing in the opening half, only to be reset in the follow-up round.
That's right, and even despite them knowing where the last two guys are, they're not going for the hunt. Because they lost Monty and TCK already. A2Z is only at $100. Steel is at $650. 4-shot is at $1,000. So they win this round here. 4-shot will be able to drop. Steel will be able to drop as well. And then the economy is still going to be very low and could be a reset moving on to the next, which would put OpTic Gaming at serious point. So thankfully enough, these three guys will maintain their weapons. But on the other end, you have Magis Boy and Mistwell, who still have that money that could drop and still go for some sort of broken buy here for the counter-terror side.
Working out the buys here on OpTic, shuffling the guns.
Full gun, bro.
Everyone walks away, so yeah. It's all right. We got an op on each side. Alu the 4-shot. 4-shot falls as Alu finds the angle on the top side of the party. Armin and Steel gonna go for the playground boost. I like this. But of course, with a 5v4, the CTs have already fallen back. So had A2Z been able to do that prior to 4-shot's peak, then he finds Alu playing aggressive. Now, he finds nothing for his efforts, and still Torqued have to play off the back foot.
Alu's playing with a glass cannon as well. Position himself to look back towards long. You already have somebody at short side, so that's how he could play in the open right now. So short side, that's going to be Magis Boy playing towards the washroom, spotting it from the connector side. So they pretty much have A on lock right now. And that's going to start off with Steel dropping the bomb, even in the point of view of Magis Boy, to try to get some information here. So Magis at this point, well, I know what they were trying to do now. You see the rotation coming through. Now 3 guys are at the A bomb site, but you still have that connector control for the terrorist team, so they could still move towards either bomb sites. And at this point, I'm expecting to see them try to work towards this B to try to get an entry against HS and Mixwell. Look at HS, just right into Monster there, on the other side of the smoke.
It's the bomb towards long that's not going to have time to rotate over. So eventually the A site hit will have to come in. They should be hitting B site first to maybe pull players off, but Armin walks right by the corner, doesn't check it, and it costs him as Magisk finds his kill. Steel still with bomb up close, 8 seconds to the clock. The CTs all start to fall off, and he's got an entry in. Magisk, oh, he hears it, but he's not got time to stop it. Takes the kill, but at least they find their plant.
But 5 guys alive here, Scrawny. I don't know how you're going to play that. Lots of raffles being thrown at the same time because, again, you're right. They had to play the fake first towards the B side. They already started executing towards A to start. A2Z is already running through, so I don't know if they were trying to play some sort of double fake But yeah, they knew on Torque's side it was a mistake of how they played that.
Monty says in all chat, does that count as a point? Everyone laughing about the situation. I mean, hey, they got their money, right? Maybe they realized that their options were limited. It gets them back on an op for 4-shot, gives them guns, low utility. But it's better than just an absolute 5-man denial. Patient setup yet again. 2 players towards bathrooms, but no aggressive peek. 4-shot still stands in this round. We'll see if he can get himself some kind of a pick closer towards the bomb site, but it's actually Armin to get himself into A. Walks right out and finds the immediate opening. Magis Boy down and a 5v4 to work with.
Yeah, they tried to change things a little bit for Torqued. Instead of trying to go for executes and trying to throw flashes and get themselves known, they just decided to go for the silent play. Maybe the advantage is that they didn't have any utilities to work with, so they were like, okay, well, let's just try to walk across. They're able to catch some people off guard. But as they rotate across from that first initial pick and reassess, they're getting caught under these rotations, and already it's a 1-minute advantage back into OpTic Gaming side. Make that 2 as Alu lands that AWP shot onto Steel. Missed by 4-shot, a second one as well. Alu's coming in for the knife, but a no-scope comes through, and that is a BM quickly punished.
Knifing a full HP opponent. We saw him not get his knife kill on Cash, so he's fully committed at this point.
Pretty much.
Get the lineup smoke from Armin. Molotov's the fly. Oh, no. Thinks about it. Would have been the right call, seeing as, of course, now HS will come in from the backside. 19 seconds to entry in, and 4-shot takes the first with the spray. Freiberg able to buy more time. Now A2Z tries to punch this in. Finds his plant, but can he take the frag? Absolutely not. That's OpTic securing OT.
Even on at the end of that, they get a double op setup too, move it into the game point. In tennis, it's like what, double match point or something like that. These guys are just 15-6 now. They have so many rounds to play with. So you can see from Alu's confidence and his bad manners, it's just because he knows how OpTic Gaming pretty much has this game in the bag.
You know, silver lining for Torque is that they get to at least fight with a couple of guns. We get that double AK ump here in the 22nd round. But we're back into the realm that we were on Cash, where it's such a lopsided affair. Overtime's been secured, and Torque have a massive hill to climb. So it's certainly still, you know, possible that they get a couple rounds to the board, but you'd think with such little margin of error, this one's done and dusted. Alu opens up, finds Monty, and takes the opening pick. That's one of the pistols down for the count, but HS gonna get slightly tagged, and here comes TCK, denied by Alu, who gets aggressive, finds another kill, and HS takes the 4th. It's all on Armin. 1v5 with the opener, but everyone knows where he's at.
Even the bomb's down too. They got the bomb covered. They got connector side control as well. A2Z even at this point does not even pick up the AKs. Just gonna go AWP, trying to go for the flashy plays. Gets a nice shot though, at least at the Freiberg, but that ends it there.